Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we're flying from Gatwick to Paris De-Gaulle in the Easyjet A319 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So today we're going to be departing out of Gatwick on the runway 08 right via the Bognor departure and arriving into Paris De-Gaulle on the Bibbenheim Whiskey arrival into 08 right. So we're in the cockpit now of the A319 and we've got our cargo doors already opened, so let's get some power into this. So external power on, batteries 1 and 2 on. IRSs to nav. You can start the APU, cruise supply on, arm the emergency exit lights and seatbelts, non-smoking, and strobe lights to auto. Start the APU there, and we'll leave the fuel tanks for now. So coming down into our MCDU, we can select our inits, request init. So Gatwick to Paris to go. Flight number today is EZY324. Cost index today of 21 and our cruising of 23,000. So that's all set up there in the initial reference page. If you go into the flight plan page, click departure, 08 right. So we actually have no departure SID for today, so we can just insert that. Delete the flight plan discontinuity and go into Paris to go arrival 08 right ILS and the Bourbon Whiskey arrival. So there we are. So we're set up there for now. We can get our fuel set up. So I've imported the flight plan. Import, load aircraft, instant, send to MCDU. So all good with the fuel there. So the fuel like that, we can come down back into the MCDU. We can click fuel and it's in there. So then we can go up back into here into the departure. So dry, flaps 1, anti-ice off, packs off, sync the live weather, calculate. So V1 141, VR 144, V2 148. So here we are, all good. Flaps 1 down 01, flex step 98. Not 98, what am I on? 80, not even 86. Whoa. 68, there we go. So the APU will be okay to start now, so hit the APU there and wait for boarding to finish, and I'll be back with you guys. So the boarding's all complete now, and we have all 109 passengers on board. Just got to wait for the luggage to be all loaded. We've got 3 minutes still for the IRS alignment now. So the boarding has been completed, and you can see the jet bridge going back in there. So that's all good now. Doors are all shut, and we're ready for pushback in 1 minute. So thank God our RS has finally aligned and we are ready for pushback. So let's request pushback in the GSX menu so we can continue pushback. Pushback facing west on Juliet. Parking brakes released, commencing push, all engine clear, start at will. So ignite engine 2. There, turn on the beacon lights to make sure ground crew knows that we're starting up the engines. And we can inject some fuel. And start engine 1. So we stopped here and completed pushback. Park brakes are set. Cockpit round, we have good engine start. You can disconnect. Cool. So here we are, 15%, 20%, perfect. Taxi lights on. Nav on, beacon lights on, strobe lights on. That's all good there. APU bleeds off, master switch off. Packs 1 off, packs 2 off. Flaps 1, take off config and auto brake max. Ground spoilers are on. Take off config, here we are. And cabin checked. So there we are. Just wait to get a little wave. Left is clear, right is clear. So now we've got a very long taxi up to runway 08 right. Here we are. Gonna get wave. Thank you very much. Wait for these to clear and then we'll be on our way. So parking brakes released and put a bit of thrust in. And we're rolling. Sorry, one thing I forgot to do is my flight controls check, which probably isn't the best thing to forget, but, you know, here we are. We completely ignore how I'm not on the taxiway. Heh. So here we are now about to approach the runway, so landing lights on, take off, lights on. So entering the runway 08 right. So we are looking down the runway, and we can probably start our turn here. So here we are. So everything's set. So 50% stabilize. Manflex 68, SRS runway auto thrust blue, checked. Keep center line here. 100 knots, checked. V1, rotate. Positive to climb, gear up, and immediately autopilot 1 is engaged. Ooh, forgot to start the clock. There we go. Lovely sunny departure out of Gatwick in the morning at 5:32, as that's UTC time. So level climb, and we'll just keep climbing, so passing 1,600 now. Turn on the pack, so pack 1 on, and pack 2 on. So here we are. Let's do an open climb, why not? Quite a sharp right turn here, and flaps up. Ground spoilers disengage, there we are. So we can turn off lights, nose lights. There, that's all good. Seatbelts off, and smoking auto. All pretty smooth. Auto brake can go off as well, so that's all good there. And back onto the init page. Yes, perfectly fine there. So climbing to our flight level 230, and we have an en route time of 36 minutes. So it's not a very long flight here in the sim, which is quite nice. So QNH is flashing, so we can go to standard pressure there, as we've reached our transition altitude. So passing 10,000 now, and our plane seems to be leveling off a bit. Never mind. Keep climbing. So since there's nothing really else much to talk about really in the flight deck, I'll see you when we are about to descend into Paris De-Gaulle, and I'll give you some nice shots of us in the air. So we're about to reach the top of descent now, as you can see by this little indicator. So we can come down here and hit 5,000 and click that, and it will do the descent there. As you can see, descending now. There we are. So just a bit above it, and we've just hit the top of descent now. So our plane should align with that little green bit there. But yeah, I'll get back to you at 10,000 feet. Bye bye. Here we are then at 10,400 feet and pretty much rapidly descending. Kind of came off the path here, but it's okay because we're back on it now. So all good there. If we come down into the MCDU and we get our approach phase programmed, so into approach phase we have a QNH here, 1022, sorry. Our winds are 50 at 5 knots, and temperature is 25 degrees. That's pretty nice, I'll be honest. And instrument approaches, we have the ILS 08 right. Wait for the slowed, and our minimums is 540. So there we are. That's it there. So we're all good on that behalf. Here we are, 6,000. We've leveled off. So we can turn the landing system on there. Already on the glide slope for the runway. So that's pretty good. As you can see in front of us, I'm not very good with my cities, but I'm pretty sure we can see the city centre of Paris. And we're pretty much blinded by the light here. But I'm gonna turn. Yeah, I literally called it. So we got 7 more minutes on the clock, and we're on pretty much. We're on path to land, and we got 7 more minutes to land. Or expected to land, so that's good. So bring it down to 3,000. And QNH can go to 122. I don't know why I keep saying 122. It's 0122. Not even 0122. What am I on? 1022. So 4,000. Just above the glide slope. There we are, that's a football stadium there. Don't exactly know who that is. That could be PSG. Do not mark me on that if it is or not. I'm not too good with my football, I'll be honest. Another airport here. So 3,300, we can turn on approach mode. So approach mode on, and we are capturing the ILS. So here we are. Get down, get down. So let's go speed 160. Slow us down a little bit. And apply flaps 1. So speed 160. Flaps 1. 2,500 there. Turn on the landing lights, nose lights to take off, runway turn off. Seatbelt signs on, non-smoking on, auto brake medium, on the ground spoilers. Don't know why I'm in ignite mode on the engines, but you know, here we are. So 200 now, this is going to be quite a fast landing. 2000. So, flaps 2, speed checked. So, bring it down to 130. Flaps 3, speed checked. 1500. Flaps full, speed checked, ready for landing. Here we are. So we're going to take over the autopilot at 500 feet. One thousand. Ooh, there we go. Literally probably a minute or two just before our original arrival time. Lovely scenery here at Paris De-Gaulle, if I do say so myself. 1000. Seems like we're literally gliding, I'll be honest. Here we are. So 500 autopilot's disengaged, aircraft is mine. So let's stay on the correct path. 100 above. Bit low there. Minimums continue. Way too low. Way too high now. Well, not way too high, pretty much perfect.
100.
Whoa, this is bad.
50, 40, 30.
Cut power.
5.
Touchdown, reverses. Full. Decel. Wasn't the smoothest of landings, I'll be honest. 60 knots, manual braking and reverses stowed. That's not very nice to call me. Ooh, landing rate there of minus 438. That was not the best, I'll be honest. So vacating here on Victor. So landing lights off. Takeoff light, not takeoff light, nose lights to taxi. APU bleed. What am I on about? Master switch on. And that was 35 minutes on the clock. So literally beat it by a minute. So let's select where we are going to park. So here we are. Finally where we should be. Yeah. Yes. So here we are. So that's our little marshal there. So we can turn off the taxi lights, and when we turn off the lights off, don't really need that. Navigation off as well. So let's swing it round. Let's try and get good parking here. Can't really see him. A bit more to the left he wants. Blimey, mate. Do you want me any more off-centered? Yep, let's keep it going. Slow it down. Okay. Just, yeah. Let's put it here. That seems good to me. Ooh, ooh, overshot there. Engine's off, and we're on our APU now. Lovely jubbly. Beacon lights off, strobe lights off. Seatbelt signs off, non-smoking off. Emergency exit lights off. Lovely. So we can request the deboarding. Don't know why I just literally got rid of that. So in the GSX menu, we can request deboarding via these people, because why not? So they'll deboard the aircraft now. Pretty good flight overall. Flight time of 35 minutes on the clock. Pretty smooth, good departure, and nice arrival into Paris De-Gaulle, except from the landing. That was a bit shabby, I'll be honest with you. But that's all from me for today. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next flight. Goodbye.